Children, let us study the process of distillation. Distillation is the process of heating a liquid to form its vapors and then condensing the vapors to form the liquid. Take some salt water in round bottom flask or retort. Arrange the apparatus as shown in the figure. Start heating the liquid in the flask placed on the wire gauze. Then slowly droplets of water start falling into the conical flask. The salt water in the round bottom flask boils on heating. The water in it vaporizes. When the vapor passes through the inclined tube, it gets cooled due to the surrounding cold water and condenses to form water as it passes through the condenser. Thus, the drops falling into the conical flask are of the water from the salt solution in the round bottom flask. Salt remains behind at the bottom of the round bottom flask when all the water has collected in the conical flask. This method is called distillation. Distillation is used for purification of impure liquids. Also, when two miscible liquids they are mixed together, it is used to separate them. And distilled water is required at many places in the industries also. Children, come on, let us study the remaining methods of separating substances from the mixture. In that, first of all, let us study the method of separation. Separation method is useful for those liquids, those are immiscible, that means they do not mix with each other homogeneously. And for those, we use separation method. And while doing that separation, we use separating funnel. See, in this, I had taken two liquids. One is water and another one is oil. In this, water is having high density. That's why when it was left undisturbed for some time, at that time, the liquid with high density, it goes down, and liquid with low density, it floats on that liquid having high density. And that means heavier liquid goes down and the lighter liquid floats upwards. And then while separating this from this separating funnel, what we have to do? We have to use this stopcock. And with the help of this stopcock, we can separate water into the beaker. See, you can see the two layers very prominently. See, here is the oil and this is water. And this is called separating funnel. Now, what I will do? I will open the stopcock, and after that, up to the layer of oil, I will remove See, I am doing this, and the water is being collected into the beaker. See, and now I will stop the cork. The layer of oil is remaining here. In this way, I have separated oil as well as water. This is clear water, and here is the oil that is remaining in this separating funnel. With the help of this separating funnel, we have separated these two liquids very easily. It is easier one, and it is used for separating these two immiscible liquids. And now, what we are going to study? See, in this water, there is soil at the bottom, and when this soil is at the bottom, that means it was having the insoluble things, those were mixed in it. But when it was kept for 1 hour, near about 1 hour, undisturbed, at that time, what happened? From that turbid water, the insoluble impurities they settle down. This process is called settling, and the clear liquid is remaining on the upper layer, and at the bottom what happens, the insoluble impurities they settle. This is called settling. Now if I want to separate this clear water from this turbid solution, now it is not turbid because of settling it is settled, the impurities are settled at the bottom, and I have separated this clear water with the help of decantation. See, because of decantation we can separate that clear liquid from that turbid water. We have separated this clear water from this turbid water by the method of settling as well as decantation. Now if this turbid water, if we have to remove the impurities from this, there is again one method of separation, and in that filtration is done. For that, this is filter paper, and we have to use this filter paper. Fold this filter paper like this from center. Again you have to fold it like this up to the quarter. Then see, here are 4 folds. Now take 3 folds to the one side and 1 to the another side like this. Now what you have to do, take this funnel, narsale, and in that you have to keep this filter paper like this. See, you have to place filter paper into it. 3 folds to one side and 1 fold to this one side, and keep it on the stand here, tripod. This is tripod, as it is having 3 legs, it is called tripod. And now what you have to do, keep the beaker below this funnel, and then add this water through this filter paper so that it will be filtered. This process is called filtration. This process is called filtration. See, what is happening here? The clear liquid is coming down after filtration, and the insoluble impurities, they will remain on the filter paper. In this way, we can separate the insoluble impurities, soil particles, from this solution. And this is nothing but the process of filtration. Which things are used here? We have used this funnel, this tripod stand, then filter paper, and here is a beaker. And now after some time there will be only the insoluble particles, those will remain on this paper. See, these are the insoluble particles and this is clear liquid in the beaker. Okay? Children, in some liquids like blood, urine, buttermilk, then milk, in that there are some insoluble solids, those are mixed in it. But they are very small, very tiny, as well as they are very light in weight, and they are evenly distributed in that liquid. Because of that, what happens? We don't recognize the presence of these insoluble solids in that. For example, in our blood, there are blood cells. The blood cells like WBCs, RBCs, then platelets, plasma, these are the constituents, serum, these are the constituents of our blood. And this blood contains, these blood cells as insoluble solid particles, but they are very, very small, tiny. And that's why we cannot see them with our naked eyes. But laboratories, our pathological tests are done. For diagnosing the diseases, we have to undergo some blood examinations as well as urine examinations. And for that, centrifuge is the very best apparatus that is used in the pathological laboratories for the blood investigations as well as urine investigations. For separating serum, that means clear liquid, for separating serum and plasma and blood cells, we have to use centrifuge. But in laboratories, electrical centrifuge is used, and in our science laboratories in our school, in that hand centrifuge is used. I will give the demonstration with the help of this hand centrifuge. What happens if the turbid solution, this liquid, if it is taken into this test tube, we have to take same quantity of liquid in this tube. See, we have to take same quantity of liquid in two test tubes, and they should be kept opposite to each other. Now this is nothing but centrifuge machine. This is hand centrifuge, and it is having this disc that rotates. When we rotate it with the help of this machine, at that time this disc, it rotates with very high speed, and while rotating, what happens, there are two test tubes. There may be 2, there may be 4, or there may be 6 test tubes. And these test tubes, they are arranged on this disc, because there is some adjustment to keep this test tube on the disc. Now, when I will move it, they will move, and see, they are standing here in vertical position. But when I will move them, they will become horizontal like this. In your fairs, Mela, you see those merry-go-round, and in that merry-go-rounds, what happens? When we sit on the chair, they are vertical, but due to centrifugal force means the force that acts away from the center. The opposite to is centripetal force. Centripetal force acts towards the center, whereas centrifugal force goes away from the center. That's why it is called centrifugal force, and based on that centrifugal force, this machine is there, centrifuge, and that's why it is called centrifuge. Now, centrifugation is done here, and at that time, due to forceful rotation, the upper clear liquid will go upwards, whereas the tiny particles, they will sit, these insoluble solid particles, they will sit at the bottom. And when we take the insoluble this serum or plasma from blood, at that time we can do the investigations, we can diagnose how much sugar is there in our blood, then lipid profile, then other biochemical tests, serological tests can be done on this. See how this centrifuge works. If I am moving this, at that time these test tubes go like this. See, when I will stop it, they will become vertical. Otherwise, they will become horizontal like this. Their speed is measured in revolutions per minute (rpm), and precipitate will settle at the bottom here. Now, the next method is chromatography. See, for studying chromatography, in chromatography, the ingredients, those are children. If two or more substances are dissolved in the same solution in very small quantity. At that time, chromatography is used for studying them and separating them. This method is useful in pharmaceutical science as well as in laboratories, in factories. It is used for detecting the ingredients and identifying them. As well as this chromatography method, it is based on two properties: the solubility of the substance in the solvent as well as the ability of the substance to stick to the stationary filter paper. This is filter paper. I had taken rectangular piece of filter paper, and on that filter paper what I have done, near about up to the 2 centimeter, I had drawn one line with the help of pencil. And then what I will do now, I will take one drop of this ink, blue ink. See, I am putting this one drop of blue ink on this line. You can see it here. And now it's a big drop now, but what I have to do, I will take water below the level of this drop, and then what I will do, I will cover this beaker or glass with the lid, and after a few seconds, if we will observe this filter paper, there will be the colored solution that will rise on that filter paper. See, this rectangular filter paper, I had kept it here. It was not, the drop was not dipped into the water. It was above the level of water. But when it is kept here, the water will, that solution will rise on this filter paper, and then it will have the different layers of colors, and if there are 2 or more substances, they will rise up to the different heights. And because of that, and if one substance has less solubility, it will rise up to small height. If another one is having more, at that time it will rise up to more height. In this way, the levels of their rising, they will differentiate their properties and we can detect them.